Hey everybody, I'm Zach.
And I'm Jesse.
And you're watching Tesla Time News.
Episode 162
on Now You Know.
This episode, as always, is brought to you by our amazing Patreon patrons who support us on Patreon.
And as Amazon associates, we earn from qualifying purchases. Link down below. And you know, I'm one of a kind because I've got an EcoWare design.
Wow. Is this a new one?
Yeah, there's new ones every week. This one's up there now. And you know, we carbon offset the manufacture, shipping, and life cycle of the product, and on top of that, we plant a tree. So Joe Rogan sent Elon Musk the Tesla pickup truck rendering by Turkey-based car designer Emre Husman, thinking that this was what Tesla was planning to release.
Right, which it's not. This is just what this particular car designer thought the Tesla pickup truck might look like. And then Elon responded to Joe Rogan. He said it's going to be even more Blade Runner-esque than that fan's design.
Really?
Well, I mean, to be fair, that fan's design is basically just a Model X front and then like a, combobulation of a bunch of other designs. It's not terrible looking, but obviously we've seen that one picture that we still keep looking at. And
but we're
saying,
getting closer.
That's the pickup truck.
We're getting closer though, because Elon said that the reveal is still planned for November.
So finally we get to see this car. I mean, it's
something special. Check this out, a tweet from Vincent who said that he's going to be ordering it, and Elon said, it's something special. I'm just so hyped right now. I can't wait to see it.
Because, I mean, this isn't like your brother-in-law talking about, like, some party that he's throwing. No, this is not that at all, right? This is the guy who lands rockets on autonomous drone ships in the middle of the ocean. Yeah. So if he thinks that it's cool, I think that it's cool. What else could you expect from this?
So you remember that Dyson acquired a Michigan-based solid-state battery startup, Satke 3, for $90 million, and they announced plans to build an important $1 billion battery factory. And then Dyson invested $2.7 billion and got 600 employees who were working on developing Dyson's electric car. And then Dyson filed for several patents on its electric car.
Okay, I see where this is going. I'm ready to see some juicy pictures of this car.
I don't think you do see where it's going.
Oh, what do you mean?
Well, you remember that they started by converting a UK airfield into an R&D site.
Great.
But then they decided to relocate their production to Singapore.
I do remember that. But that's, sometimes you got to relocate to Singapore. I'm sure all the people at the company, how many employees were there?
600. Do you imagine what that's like to be like, guys, welcome to the Monday meeting. Let's see. Point number 1, Harry, don't forget to leave stuff in the fridge. Point number 2, we're all going to Singapore. Okay, great meeting.
I'm sorry, you just said we're all going to Singapore?
Yep, that was number 2 on the list.
I have a house.
Yes, I guess you'll have to sell it. We're going to Singapore.
Okay, all right. But I mean, they moved to Singapore. That's just so they could get, I don't know, cheap labor or a cheap factory, or the government was going to help them out. So I am ready to see the pictures of the car that they made.
Yep, well, so James Dyson said, the Dyson automotive team has developed a fantastic car. They have been ingenious in their approach while remaining faithful to our philosophies. However, though we have tried very hard throughout the development process, we simply can no longer see a way to make it commercially viable.
He just said that it was a fantastic car.
Yeah, but you got to make it affordable. You got to make it so that people will buy it.
$2.7 billion invested by Dyson.
Down the drain. It sucks. So because of high winds and to keep a repeat of what happened last year from happening, Pacific Gas and Electric is cutting electricity to around 800,000 homes and businesses in Northern California in order to prevent wildfires.
The outages are expected to affect more than half the state's counties.
I guess I got to ask, since this seems to be happening now every year, is anyone going to do anything about this?
Well, that kind of leads into our next story. Tesla is doing something. The first thing that they did was to warn customers about the upcoming power outage by sending these warning messages to Tesla owners. So right in your car, you would get a notification. It would say, a utility company in your area announced they may turn off power in some areas of Northern California beginning October 9th as part of public safety power shutdowns. which may affect power to charging options. We recommend charging your Tesla to 100% today to ensure your drive remains uninterrupted. As always, your touchscreen will display live statuses of superchargers in your area. Simply tap on a desired supercharger station to confirm its availability. So that's one thing that Tesla did. It's not, that's kind of a nice thing. But Tesla actually is planning to do a little bit more than that.
Yeah, I mean, this is almost exactly what we were talking about last year. On November 19th, on our Tesla Time News, during the horrific California wildfires, we pointed out that microgrids need to replace these antiquated power lines that stretch for miles. And now we hear from Elon.
All Tesla Supercharger stations in regions affected by California power outages will have Tesla power packs within the next few weeks, just waiting on permits. Elon added, also adding Tesla Solar to our supercharger stations as fast as possible. Goal is 24/7 clean power with no blackouts.
Okay.
This is huge.
Yes.
I know that you might be saying, Zach and Jesse, they're just talking about supercharger stations. What's the big deal? Let's not get overexcited. We don't need to hear anything beyond this. That's great. Good for Elon. Let's all go home.
I want to make a conjecture here. Purely speculation, but I think that this is the beginning of a new division for Tesla. I think this is going to be the beginning of Tesla Power. Think about this. The supercharger network now spans practically the entire globe, right? We've got it in Asia, North America, Australia, Europe. What do you have at each supercharger?
You have a big trunk line from the grid.
Yep.
Right? Because you need a ton of power to charge these electric cars. And you have a bunch of plugs that plug right into electric cars.
So now if you add battery packs and if you add solar,
you are suddenly your own grid.
Yep.
Okay. And so what you're saying is basically Tesla would say, and they could start small, right? They could say for any supercharger station, let's say it's at an outlet mall, you would just say to the outlet mall, hey, we want to put solar up somewhere. We could put it on your roof at cost. Basically, you're not going to be paying for it. We're going to be paying for it because we want to put the solar panels up to charge our, charger station. And in return, basically, you could use the power that's coming from our battery, or they charge money. They could do whatever they want because it's Tesla.
And we're talking about, say we're talking about a mall, that's a huge amount of wasted roof space that's there anyway, right? That the mall doesn't care about.
Right.
And so you put solar on it.
Right.
And,
or it's right next to an abandoned field, and you go talk to the farmer, the owner of the property, and you say, hey, we could put some solar on this. But then what you could do is basically just like a power wall in someone's house where you have backup energy. Tesla could do the same thing using its supercharger stations, and basically it's a backup power source. You just say, hey, we see that you're connected to the grid. I mean, they could even talk to the grid and say, hey, we're putting in a big old battery, and most of the time it's going to be fine. That we only have all the batteries in case you guys lose power. If you guys lose power, we could do some kind of thing to power part of the grid when the power goes out.
Because think about how Elon thinks. He thinks planetary. He's already thinking about how to colonize Mars. So he's thinking big. And yet no one else is thinking this big, and no one's thinking like, gee, look at that map there of all those superchargers. I wonder what he's up to. That's what he's up to.
Right.
And Elon could literally undercut PG&E and other utilities because their price is going to drop because they're using solar.
Right. And let's talk about PG&E for a minute. They need to get power to all of these homes because they have lines that are hanging around with the trees. It's super windy in Northern California right now. It's super dry. So if a tree knocks into a power line, lights on fire, boom, you got a wildfire. And that's legally what happened last year, is that PG&E basically started a fire because a tree hit a power line, lit it up, and boom, everything went up in smoke.
And what are they doing about it?
They're just shutting off the power.
Right.
If Tesla wanted to, in these communities that are being so heavily affected by these power shutoffs, I mean, Elon knows about a company that makes tunnels.
Oh, right.
The Boeing company.
He could just bury the lines.
You could just bury the lines in a community. You say, hey, you know how you guys don't have any power because PG&E shut off your power? Do you want to get some power from me? I got batteries. I have solar. Hey, how about we charge up?
Exactly.
That would be amazing. And that is just the first step into moving into microgrids with buried power lines. It means that you're not going to run into these problems, which are specific to certain locations like Northern California, but would work basically everywhere else. Raised power lines are an eyesore, and if you had a boring machine that could dig holes under your city, maybe you have a slightly smaller one that just is for utility lines. Just think about it. It's pure conjecture, but I mean, if there's one person who could do it, it would be Elon Musk.
So deadmau5, pictured here, is a music artist, producer, and DJ who makes progressive house music, and he is going to be getting a Tesla semi-truck. Why, you might ask?
It's an instrument.
Well, no, it doesn't make much noise.
But it has an electric motor, and we know how cool those sound.
Yeah, that's not why he's getting it.
He just wants to sample it.
Maybe, but he's also going to use it as a mobile recording studio and a tour truck.
Oh, that's cool. So, wait a minute. That's our idea.
Yeah, he kind of took our idea there, deadmau5.
Yeah, we're getting a truck.
Right, we're ahead of you on the list. So, just saying, we're going to be using it on our tour first. But you know what? Give us a call. We'll be glad to pick you up.
Yeah,
you know.
we're gonna have to get our CDL licenses. So maybe if you need some drivers or something like that to go on tour, or some recording sesh up in the mountains or somewhere cool. The possibilities of a semi truck when it's not a diesel, smelly, breaks down all the time. You have to shift it all over the place. It's gonna change people's minds. I think
especially,
us and deadmau5,
especially with power walls.
Oh, yeah. I know. We're going to be changing. People will be like, what?
Yeah, let's get deadmau5 on the tour. So Volta is a charging company that has been around since 2010, and they're now opening 150 free DC fast charging stations across the U.S. with their first new location in Connecticut.
So I've actually been to a couple different Volta Chargers. The ones that I went to were level 2 chargers, so you're only getting 6.6 kilowatts, but it's free.
Right.
And you get to park next to this beautiful station that basically is promoting EVs. I have to say, I have been driving electric cars for quite a while, and they're not paying me to say this. I really enjoyed the experience of plugging it at a Volta station. I mean, Supercharger is a close second.
Ooh.
I mean,
shots fired.
Obviously, Supercharger puts out way more power than the level 2 stations that I was using.
So the only thing that makes it number one is this giant screen?
It felt really cool. Normally, people are just like, what's that guy doing with that utility thing over there? Because the boxes just look like, I should be wearing like a reflective vest to be dealing with this kind of like, is that an electrician over there dealing with his car? What's going on? It's really nice to just be like, yeah, I'm plugging in, idiot. Just like, yeah, this is the future. Welcome to the future. This is what it looks like. It's a big old screen.
No, they are cool looking, and you will get 30 minutes of free DC fast charging, and they'll soon be opening in LA, San Francisco, Chicago, and Washington, D.C. And they'll offer speeds from 50 kilowatts to 100 kilowatts using the CCS standard. Now, Volta's founder and CEO, Scott Mercer, says Volta is using the CCS charging standard and not CHAdeMO because Volta believes that there should be one open DC fast charging standard. We are building the network that we believe will best meet the needs of the electric vehicle population over a longer time horizon. Automobile manufacturers that support CCS include Jaguar, VW, Renault, GM, BMW, Daimler, Ford, FCA, Tesla, Europe only, Kia, and Hyundai. Now, I just want to talk about something.
Mm-hmm.
Since they're US-based,
yep,
and they kind of just dissed Tesla.
I think that they did that for a very big reason.
Okay.
1 is that Teslas have huge batteries.
Okay.
2 is that Teslas are all over the place. 3, Volta makes all their money from one thing.
Yep.
The big screens.
Oh, the advertising?
The advertising.
Okay,
they
but
don't make their money from charging you to pay.
Well, wouldn't you like
plug-in.
Tesla customers to advertise to?
Yeah. Well, I think the problem that they were looking at is that you'd always have a Tesla parked there.
Oh, okay.
Is my guess. I mean, well,
I don't know, but isn't that what you want? You want an eyeball?
But if you had CHAdeMO for a second, if you had both, I get it. It's not that clean looking. You have the sort of the regular DC fast charging station where you've got these 2 plugs and it's like, oh, this is so confusing. What am I supposed to use? Which I totally get.
Okay, so another thing I want to just get clear here. Nissan Leaf. Can you plug that in at a Volta?
Not at these DC charging stations because it's CCS.
So again, I mean, Nissan Leaf, Tesla Model 3, S and X, you just dissed 4 of the biggest cars.
It's not well, again, the Tesla, most of them don't have the adapter. Most Tesla drivers aren't driving around with a CHAdeMO adapter. They don't need it because they have the Supercharger network, which is fine. And it's fine to keep the Teslas on the Supercharger network. That's fine. But again, yeah, you have all these Leafs everywhere. And it's basically just a big boon for the Bolt drivers and, all the other electric cars.
Every time I've gone to a Volta, I've just seen like ads for Nissan Leafs and stuff.
Yeah. That's kind of weird. You'd think, well...
But you can't charge there now.
It does guarantee that you won't have any Leafs parked there getting advertised to for a product that they already have.
Okay, this is confusing.
It's very confusing. It's an interesting concept. They knocked it out of the park with the station design. I just want to reiterate that. You feel like you're, fueling up your Starfighter because it's this cool thing and no one's giving you weird looks. They're all just like, oh, wow.
So we've reported on this before. Model 3s in China are getting different wheels than here in the US and Europe. YouTuber Derek went to China and bought these Chinese 19-inch Aero wheels. Now, these are only 0.8 pounds heavier than the standard 18-inch wheels, which weigh 49 pounds.
So how did he get them home?
He checked them in his baggage. He had 2 people with him, so that's 3 people. So he got 3 sets of wheels for free, but then he had to pay. Well, go check out the video. It's pretty funny. It's pretty cool, and you get to see the wheels. Anyway, they are a different look than we got here, and they have a similar plastic thing that sticks on the top because that reduces the weight of the wheel and allows you to get that aero efficiency. I don't know. What do you guys think? Comment down below if you'd like to have the Chinese version of the Model 3 wheels or if you're happy with the ones you have now. All right, it's time for the... You know what?
Yeah.
I think it's time to ditch the lightning round.
We are not fast enough.
So I think we should just mix and merge the 2 parts of the show. So you've got the same show you had before without the pretend lightning round because we're no good at it.
Right. We'd be like, all right, here's a quick story. Well, let me get into that point a little bit more. Well, let's keep talking about it a little bit further. Yeah, we're terrible at lightning round. We came up with it because basically we were like, but the show has to have 10 stories in it. And then we said we could cheat and have another 10 stories, but they would be faster. And they never were. So now we're just going to do roughly 20-ish stories per episode, which you were getting anyway.
Right.
Let's do it.
All right, so a lot of people have been buzzing about Linear Labs. This is the father-son founded electric motor startup company that is developing a very compact, powerful motor design.
Fred Hunstable, the father and CTO, claims to have developed an entirely new methodology in electric motors for the first time in 120 years.
Now, his son Brad started Ustream and then sold it to IBM for about $160 million, which gave Linear Labs their startup capital.
Being shown here, its first use will supposedly be an electric scooter and claims to have 123% more torque than the Segway ES4, a 4-kilowatt motor on an electric scooter.
Oh, yeah.
I'm usually very gung-ho. I'm a little scared. That's a little...
Here you go, Timmy.
Knock your socks off, kid.
All right, this is another sad story. It's another keying. Danny Chang said that his Tesla Model 3 was keyed on September 15th while it was parked at Sunnyside Village. This is a strip mall at King George Boulevard in front of Caprice Movie Theater and Maple Sushi in South Surrey, Canada. Now, why am I being so specific? Because if anyone recognizes this individual who's keying this car and you have information that could help the investigation, you're asked to contact police at the number below. Now, this is the beauty of Sentry Mode, right? Is that we can catch these people. And so far, it has a great track record of either people turning themselves in or the police catching them. So let's just catch all these creeps so that they stop keying people.
This was something that I never thought I would ever know about. Unless it happens to you, you don't get to see it. People might take pictures of it, and you see pictures of it. That's one thing. But to see people in the act, doing it, that's something that we've just never really seen before, except like in movies.
Yeah.
And this is just, it's different than the movies, because in the movies, it's played as a gag. It's like, oh, he scratched his car. In this
or I picture someone's really mad. Like you've seen this in a movie where it's like, I hate that guy. Right. But
Right?
it's so nonchalant. It's walking along and just being like,
Who does that? What kind of a psychopath do you have to be to do that?
I know.
Why? Like, again, like I want it to be like a furious guy and he's red in the face. He's just like,
I know.
because he's so mad because you cut him off in traffic or something.
Right.
That's who I expect to key cars, not just some guy who's just like, scratch.
I know. How do you keep your composure and do something so violent at the same time?
I don't know.
So when I first read this story, I was kind of upset at New Zealand. But now I think I've come to understand it better.
Okay.
Yeah, New Zealand's coalition government committed to an entirely emission-free fleet of government vehicles by mid-2025, where practicable. To put this in perspective, there are 15,473 vehicles in the fleet, and only 78 of them are electric. Now, in the most recent quarter, the government has added 514 non-electric vehicles and only 5 EVs.
That's 1%. And they want to go 100%.
Right. So now the government has revised that statement and says that after mid-2025, all new vehicles will be emission-free. That made a lot of people angry, including Greenpeace's Amanda Larson, who says if the government was listening to the public, then every new vehicle entering the fleet today would be zero emissions, with the goal of making the whole fleet zero emissions by 2025.
So what the heck is all of this about? 5 EVs out of 514
And I started
non-EVs?
I started just as mad as you are, but then I realized something. I've been
Okay.
trying to get our local town to go EV since, 2012. And the problem I have is every time I bring it up with the department, they say, "Oh, okay, well, maybe what's available in an EV?" And I'm like, Tesla Model S, Tesla Model X." And they're like, "Well, that doesn't fit our budget." And so
Tesla Model 3?
that's great. And that actually is making a change because a lot of police forces now, as we've seen, can use them in their police force.
Right.
But a lot of municipal vehicles, if you look around, are not really sedans. A lot of them are pickup trucks, SUVs, minivans, because they need to pick up people, they need to move stuff around. And so that's what they're looking for, a lot of them are. And so up until even now, there just aren't a lot of choices that give them the range, the price, and so forth. But the good news, I do think, is that if you remember seeing our in-depth last week where we gave an EV buying guide, there are a lot more cars available now and very soon.
And here's one that wasn't on that list because, people aren't.
Oh, the
going to
Model
be buying.
Y. Yeah, a lot of people got mad at us because we didn't put the Model Y on the list. I do want to remind people we were just putting cars that you can get either now or really soon, and the Model Y is not on that list.
Well, that's actually not the electric vehicle I was talking about.
Okay. What were you talking about?
I was talking about there's a new street scooter that's coming to the United States and China.
Yeah, but see, most municipalities don't want scooters. They want cars.
No.
No, it's true.
This is not a scooter. This is a delivery van. Street Scooter is the name of the company. They're an EV manufacturer, and they are making electric trucks. And they're working right now to unveil the Work and the Work L delivery vans.
Oh, that's cool. So Street Scooter is a subsidiary of DHL, and they said Street Scooter is a well-known early bird in the electric light commercial vehicle sector. Years of experience and more than 100 million kilometers on the road have shown us what's important in tough delivery traffic and last-mile logistics. We have incorporated those insights into a new design for our success models, the Work and Work L. The results speak for themselves, optimal operational equipment for environmentally conscious fleet customers. Now, this is coming to the U.S. and China?
U.S. and China, they are working to make a lot of them. We're talking
how many?
About 20,000
Oh, nice.
a year. I think it's an excellent design. And again, the thing you want to think about when you're talking about delivery trucks is you care about, what do you care about when you're delivering things? Money.
Money.
You care about money.
Money.
Money, please.
And so it's one thing to say we care about the environmentally conscious and everything like that. True. But also, you're saving so much money because you don't have to
right.
buy the diesel.
Right.
You charge it with electricity.
And the maintenance is low.
Maintenance is lower.
Yeah.
It's a win-win, bing, bang, boom kind of.
What are you, the salesman for it?
I'm just saying, I'm excited that they're actually producing because that's going to make a huge dent.
No, I just think a
That's-
good sales pitch there. Bing, bang, boom. It's a win, win, win. So this year's Nobel Chemistry Prize is relevant to EVs because John B. Goodenough of the University of Texas at Austin, M. Stanley Whittingham of SUNY Binghamton University, and Akira Yoshino of Mayo University have won the 2019 Nobel Prize in Chemistry at the Royal Swedish Academy of Sciences in Stockholm last week for the development of
lithium-ion batteries. The Nobel Committee said lithium-ion batteries are used globally to power the portable electronics that we use to communicate, work, study, listen to music, and search for knowledge. Lithium-ion batteries have also enabled the development of long-range electric cars and the storage of energy from renewable sources such as solar and wind power.
It's kind of cool to get some cred. I do want to point out, though, that if a lot of people think that Nobel Prizes go to cutting-edge stuff, and that's not true. These developments happened back in the 90s for the most part. Right. So
this is a lot more like a Lifetime Achievement Award.
Exactly.
As opposed to like a Emmy.
Right.
I'm trying to...
That's good.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So registration data is now in for September in the UK, and Tesla has now risen to, get this, 2.2% of the entire UK car market is Tesla.
Wow. And am I reading this correctly that diesel cars dropped 20% during the same period?
Yeah. That's 6,244 Teslas, which includes 5,385 Model 3s, sold in the UK during the quarter. Tesla delivered more vehicles in the last 3 months than it did in the entire year of 2018 in the UK. And that's with a limited supply of right-hand drive cars.
In the UK, the Model 3 starts at just under £39,000 after the UK's £3,500 electric car grant.
Now, that's a lot of money that UK gives back for electric cars, but that's still $48,500 for those of you in the US who don't know about pounds. So it's still an expensive car.
Right.
And I think what's going to happen, hopefully soon with the European factory, is that the price of the Model 3 is going to come down. And just think of what's going to happen in the UK when that happens.
So what is this about VW's intelligent ID.Light concept?
Not only does this car's voice control obey your every word, the ID.3 also communicates visually with its occupants thanks to the completely new intelligent ID.Light concept. An LED strip that runs across the cockpit assists the driver by changing color according to the current function. Once they have settled into the driver's seat, ID.Light signals to the driver that the vehicle's drive system is active and that the car has been unlocked or locked. It accentuates information issued by the driver's assist and navigation systems and signals braking prompts and incoming phone calls. In conjunction with the navigation system, ID.Light reduces the stress of driving in traffic. By blinking, it recommends changing lane and can also warn the driver if their ID.3 is in the wrong lane. ID.Light also supports voice control. It responds to the voices of vehicle occupants by sending a light signal. This indicates whether the voice control assistant is responding to the driver or the front passenger.
Okay.
Isn't that innovative?
It's
an LED light strip. Can you imagine putting that in a car?
I mean,
wow. That's awesome, VW. Good job.
I mean, one of my friends has a bunch of LED light strips in his car, and it's not that innovative. It looks pretty trashy.
Yeah.
Is it using Morse code? Is it using...
No, it's using light.
Braille?
It's using light.
Right. So
blinking and colors.
So I mean, like, do I get in and then it's like red because it stopped, and then I put it in drive and then it turns green because it's go? I'm not following why not have a screen, which is many lights, like many LEDs that can display pictures of things and words and symbols that could tell me what to do. And also, like, if only you had like a really big one that you could then, and you could touch it and then you could control what's going on. What? I'm having trouble understanding. Are you awake? Are you on? It's hard to... Okay, let's talk about a different car's interior.
Yeah, let's talk about Tesla's new cream interior. Tesla says, we have improved the Model S cream interior in all markets to make it better looking and more durable. All new Model S configured with cream interior are now produced with black carpets and floor mats. Just like the Model X cream interior, the seats and trim remain cream. What? Wait a minute. So they made a better material or they made a better color?
I feel like I haven't seen that many cream interiors
No.
on Model S's.
No, I
I
haven't.
haven't seen many Model S's, I'll be honest. Like, I am a Model X, Model 3 kind of guy. Please, we need you guys out there who know about the cream interior. Comment down below. Tell me what's different.
tell us
Is it that they
why-
used to
is
have
it-
cream carpets? That sounds gross.
It costs $1,500 more to have the cream.
As opposed to the white interior also costs more.
Right.
Okay, so it's a premium interior.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know about this next one either.
Okay.
Porsche is now partnering with Boeing. So Porsche signed a memorandum of understanding with Boeing to develop, get this,
Yep.
a concept for a fully electric vertical takeoff and landing vehicle, a VTOL.
So, I mean, Boeing obviously makes planes. So that makes sense. That checks out.
So Detlev von Platen, he's a member of the executive board for sales and marketing at Porsche. He said, Porsche is looking to enhance its scope as a sports car manufacturer by becoming a leading brand for premium mobility. In the longer term, this could mean moving into the third dimension of travel. We are combining the strengths of two leading global companies to address a potential key market segment of the future.
These are two really old companies.
That's true. Both are, let's see, Boeing is over 100 years.
Right.
And Porsche is almost 100 years.
Yeah.
I'm trying to picture it now. You know, they're meeting, they've signed this memo, and I
Right.
think you normally would bring a gift, right? So
Right,
I'm thinking
so-
that Boeing would probably want to bring some pictures of their famous planes to hang on the wall.
Right.
of
So you got
the
the Boeing Dreamliner.
Oh, no, I'm
and the
thinking
Boeing
like go-
747.
No, I'm thinking you go back to your kind of your early planes, like the Boeing B-17 Flying Fortress, the Boeing 29 Super Fortress.
I don't-
hang those on the wall there and be like, here you go, guys, some pictures of our older planes.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Well, and then, no, but here's what I'm thinking. Then Porsche can give them some of their early vehicles too. Like, here you go. Here's our Panzer tank that we used to make. So I would want to hang that on the wall. It looks nice next to the B-17. It's like a World War II themed thing.
You know, let's just skip that whole part of the meeting. We're just going to get to the sitting down.
okay.
And so
Part of the meeting.
And so
Gotcha.
Boeing is just going to be like, all right, so we're going to be designing an electric VTOL. Do you have any experience?
Yes, we do, actually. Many years ago, and these pictures of these bombers reminded me, we used to make a rocket. We made the V2 rocket. Oh. Isn't this great?
It's just so weird. Can we just talk about how weird this is that you have a company that was producing planes that were bombing the factories of this other company, and that company was making rockets that was launching
And tanks.
that were attacking each other, and now they're sitting down at a table and they're signing a memorandum of understanding. That sounds like something you do at the end of the war. It's just like
It's weird.
it's
I know.
super weird. Like,
But it's true.
No one ever decided to change the names of these companies. They just
Right.
stuck with it. They just
Yep.
said, you know what? Let's keep naming it this. It's a great name. Everyone's heard of it. Did they have that conversation when they sat down? Was there any talk of like, hey, wasn't this factory bombed by B-17 bombers? That's so weird.
It is weird.
What a weird world we live in, everyone.
It is weird. But, you know, it's time for Throwback Thursdays.
It's Monday. Again, we need to come up with a different name for this.
No, we don't. So here's a statement from Toyota. See if you can place when this happened.
Okay.
Toyota teased today what will become the most powerful RAV4 yet.
Oh, I know. This is when they were working with Tesla. They partnered with Tesla to make a fully electric RAV4, right? This was back in like 2012, 13, 14.
Yep, that's when they did it, but that's not what I'm talking about. This is the 2021 RAV4 plug-in hybrid, bringing with it a new color, Supersonic Red.
But wait a minute. This is the 2021. That's the future.
Yeah, well, this is an announcement they just made. The teaser image of the RAV4 plug-in hybrid highlights the new plug-in hybrid vehicle's surprising performance capabilities. Unlike any other, the new RAV4 plug-in hybrid will be celebrated by its spirited acceleration, nimble handling, and impeccable style. I'm sorry, yes?
They had a fully electric one, and then they did away with it. And they stopped producing.
Yeah, they hired Tesla to make it for them. And then they stopped.
And
now they're
now-
going to a plug-in hybrid. And you know why this one's so powerful compared to the old one? Because I would have thought that the one that Tesla made would have been powerful. But
Right.
they forced Tesla to put a puny motor in it, a 50 kilowatt motor, which is less than 70 horsepower.
That's like less than my Leaf.
Yeah.
What was the acceleration on
It
that
was
thing?
like, I think 0 to 60 was like 23 seconds.
God.
I'm coming. I'm coming.
Here we go. Hold on, everybody. Okay, wait, you're not in? All right, just hurry up. Hurry up, get in.
All right, it's time for our video contributor stories. You can become a video contributor. All you got to do is shoot a story that's under 2 minutes. Don't put any music in there, but make sure there's really good audio. Shoot it horizontally and make sure that it's a cool story about something in your neck of the woods. Let's see why women prefer gas vehicles over electric ones.
What?
Hi, Zach and Jesse. Over the last few months, I've read or heard assertions that women are reluctant to switch from gas to electric cars. The statistics seem to bear this out, so I thought I'd do a bit of research to find out why. I interviewed a number of women who have both a gas-powered vehicle and an electric vehicle in their garage. My sample size was precisely one, my wife. Here's her rationale. She tells me that when she gets into the Tesla in the morning, it's always fully charged. She really misses that little burst of adrenaline she gets when she realizes the Subaru is almost out of gas. She misses spending extra time to stop at a gas station in the rain, take her credit card out of her purse and validate it in the fuel pump, select the correct grade of gas, and then stand in the cold and wind breathing the fumes while gassing her car. She especially misses doing this in the dark with strangers lurking about, another welcome burst of adrenaline. She used to enjoy getting under the hood to check the oil. Now the only thing under there is a frunk. She misses the aroma of gasoline and oil on her hands. She misses those periodic trips to the car dealership for oil and filter changes and the additional items that they occasionally insist she needs to have replaced: coolant, gaskets, radiator hoses, fuel pumps, mufflers, etc. It irks her that the Tesla doesn't have any of those items. She used to enjoy getting brand new brake pads and rotors every few years. On the Tesla, they'll probably last as long as we have the car. And charging the Tesla when she gets home just isn't the same as fueling the Subaru. It takes only seconds, and that lovely gasoline smell is gone. EVs are just boring, she says. Give her a gas car any day.
I get it.
Tongue in cheek.
Sarcasm. Very good.
All right, it's time for our Patreon bonus stories. So if you would like to head over to Patreon and support us for as little as $1 a month, you can watch every Patreon bonus story we've ever did. There must be hundreds of them up there now. All right, we're back from our Patreon bonus stories, and it's time for our Patreon shout-outs. These are people who support us for $5 or more a month. They're super important. Who do we have?
We have Philip Broussard,
Somi Chuhan,
Brian,
Carly D,
Jort Koljan,
Derek Lingar,
Josh Baugus,
Stephen Wade,
Nathan Gartner,
and John C. Leake.
Thank you so much. You guys really make this show possible. You make this show happen. I just want to remind everyone that there is a bit of a backlog for shout-outs. We're working through them. We've increased the number just a little bit so we can get through more of them each week.
All right, it's time for Elon's tweets of the week. We got a few here. Jeffrey tweeted out to Elon. He said, "Hi, Californians. Driving our cars is by far the biggest source of our greenhouse gases." And Elon retweeted this because it's true. In California, 28% of the greenhouse gases are caused by passenger cars. And our friend Gally over at Hyperchange tweeted out a very important tweet. He said, "Improving battery technology as fast as possible is our best shot at getting off fossil fuels and solving the transport energy part of the climate crisis. Tesla is leading the world in this regard and will unveil a path to 1 terawatt hour plus of battery production at Battery Investor Day in 2020. Every single Tesla bought enables more cutting-edge R&D to make this technology cheaper and change the world. I think Tesla is doing more to solve the climate crisis than any entity on the planet. Wish more people would realize how important this is for our future and support Elon Musk." And Elon responded,
Fundamental metric of good of Tesla is how many years sooner it brings the advent of a sustainable energy future. Wow, Gally really put that better than I could put it myself. And I think that this is like what we've been trying to say unsuccessfully in its entirety for 162 episodes.
And then Steve Jobs Ghost said, in the future, all the settings in your driver profile will be stored in the cloud on your Tesla account. Not only will this allow you to use any phone as a full backup for your center touchscreen, but you can also log on to any Tesla or Robotaxi and download your settings and data.
And Elon said, exactly. Right. I mean, this is the difference between having an iPod where you'd load on all your music and having a Spotify account where it doesn't matter what computer you go to, you just log in, right? Like, that's it.
Now, Elon's been tweeting lately a lot about the color orange. I'd like to see this one where he tweeted out etymology.com, which is a website I guess he owns, because when you go to it, this is what you see.
It's an emoji of an orange. And now this goes back to an earlier tweet where he says the color orange comes from the fruit,
Now,
which is...
Why do you think he's tweeting this? I think it's because the pickup truck is going to be orange.
It could be. It also could be that Elon just wants everyone to know that the color orange is because of the orange. Now, I'm a little confused about that because I feel like people who spoke English would have seen carrots a lot sooner than they would have seen oranges. Although I know carrots come in a variety of colors, so maybe they weren't always orange.
Who knows?
I don't know. I have no idea.
If you know, please comment below.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's buck wild. I love history.
All right, it's time for Community Mail Time.
Community mail time.
So Malcolm got his Model 3. Things are getting crazy in the UK, he said. Model 3s everywhere. All of a sudden, here's mine at the Oxford Supercharger. Check. I just love this.
Yeah. Look, they're all the same color. They're all the same model except for the Model X at the end there.
That's awesome.
The awkward cousin. Our friend Chris in Ottawa had a wonderful Tesla rally this past weekend in October with a total of 31 Teslas and 2 Volts.
That's awesome.
Nice.
And check out this mural of Greta from Kareem. This is a mural of Greta in Bristol, UK. All right, it's time for our on-air question of the week. Tony says, "Hi guys, your oil boss episode was great. I will share it. Question though, I don't think the feds will go after the bosses unless we change our laws regarding lobbying in Washington. How do you think we can affect change in this regard? More support for things like represent us? Get rid of elected officials altogether? Love your statement toward the end about it's our money. How we spend it will definitely make a difference. Example, after BP polluted the Gulf years back, I haven't bought a single drop of BP oil. I drive right past their stations all the time."
Yeah, I mean, I think that we definitely need to change the laws about lobbying. It's
not hard,
ridiculous.
people.
I know.
We act like it's the most impossible thing in the world. First of all, we have to do it. Do we want to have democracies where money controls everything? That's stupid.
Right. That's what democracy fights against, is against having a ruling class. It's supposed to be that the people have the power. That's the whole point.
Right.
And so as soon as you have lobbyists that are not just saying like, we're just here to present you facts, and they're saying, hey, here's some lobster, and here's a ton of money for your political campaign, and let's go golfing, and here, let's the money again, like.
Just elect people who are for getting money out of politics.
Right.
Every election cycle, they have to come to you, right? You see them, they're all over the place. These politicians are coming into cafes and diners and shaking hands, and just ask them one question.
Right. You have to vote for them still.
Right.
It might not always be that way. If
Right.
we keep going in this direction,
Right.
It might just be like, well, I have the most money, therefore I am in control of all of you. So you are going down into the mines, and all of you are going to be the happy consumers who live over there.
Find out who the candidates are that you believe in. Tell everyone you know about them. Vote for them. And voila, you won't have this problem anymore. Right. It's not as hard as we make it sound. And I love his point about how he doesn't buy any BP oil. Yes, vote with your wallet as well. Because if we all stopped paying for things that are bad, they wouldn't have our money to begin with.
Right. And I haven't been paying for oil for over like 3 years now.
That's the beauty of an EV. We
Yes.
drive past not only BP oil stations, but every oil station.
Right. And then I get home and I plug in, and then the next day I'm ready to go again.
And the sun is what did the job.
Exactly. Well, in my case, it's wind, but
The sun makes the wind.
the sun makes the wind. Bingo. All right, we put out a poll last week. We said, do you think Sentry Mode will reduce Tesla vandalism? Our Patreon said yes, because they're wonderful people. I am honestly in the no category here. I am going to be voting against not everyone. I'm going to be voting against 321 of our wonderful Patreon patrons.
You think it's going to increase?
No. I said I don't think that most vandals will hear about it.
Oh, I see. So you think it'll just keep going at the same rate?
Same rate, I think.
So you don't think there's going to be a little vandal network and they'll be like, hey, what are you in here for?
I don't know enough about vandals, but I don't think that they have a network. I think that it's just one really
They don't have a
crappy
Facebook page?
No.
I feel like they have a Facebook page.
I think it's just one individual, isolated, really crappy person who's just like, I'm going to scratch up that car right now.
All right, time for good news, bad news. What do you want first?
Oh, well, last week that one was pretty bad. So I guess start with the bad news. Hopefully we'll end on a good note.
Well, the bad news is a century ago, Ethiopia was covered 35% by trees. Now, according to the UN, it's just 4%. Do you want some good news?
Yes, please.
According to Ethiopia's Minister of Innovation and Technology, Dr. Getahun Mekuria, 353 million trees were planted throughout Ethiopia in a single day.
Wow.
This planting is part of an initiative in Ethiopia to plant 4 billion trees this year by encouraging every citizen to plant 40 seedlings. The previous world record for the most trees planted in one day stood at 50 million, held by India since 2016.
Wow. So they really hit this one out of the park. I mean, that's, 6 times more?
Yeah.
Congratulations, Ethiopia. Thank you very much for planting trees because it pulls carbon dioxide out of the air and turns it into trees.
All right, it's time for Supercharger reviews. Let's see what we got.
Hi, Zach and Jesse. This is Paul Garrett. I'm in Joplin, Missouri. This is the 8-stall Supercharger. It's alongside a closed hotel. It's kind of back in an isolated spot. But there are some places to eat. There's a couple hotels here, but they're a bit of a walk away, about 10 minutes walk away. So I give this about a 6, but it works just fine. Getting a nice rapid charge on it. And now you know.
Hey, Zach and Jesse. I'm out scouting Chargers in preparation for getting my Model X. I'm at the Brevard Medical City destination Chargers that are on 6619 North Wickham Road in Melbourne, Florida. There are 4 that I can see. 2 on this corner of the building, and then if you go over to the other corner, you can't see them from here, there are 2 more. And these are supposed to be 80 amp, and the signs say business patron parking only. However, I talked to the receptionist inside, and she was kind enough to say it's okay to charge Tesla here, even though you're not a patron. However, if you're going to do it, I suggest that you check in with them if the place is open, because their policies might have changed. And then there's a 40 amp charger, I think, way over there that can also be used. It has a J1772 plug. Okay, this is on the back of the building, which would be on the east side, away from the road. There are places to eat. About 3 minutes over here, you've got a Mexican restaurant, and then across the street, there are more eateries. That's it. Good driving.
Hi, Zach and Jesse. It's Steve here from Perth in Scotland. Behind me, I've got 12 Superchargers. I'm the only one here at the moment. And just across the road, we've got a McDonald's and a Harvester pub. And right there, basically 50 feet away, we've got a park and ride facility into Perth city centre. I give it 8 out of 10.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Always makes me happy.
Thank you so much for covering that.
All right, it's time for new Superchargers in the world. What do we got, Jesse?
We have the 8-stall 150 kilowatt Supercharger station in Salisbury in New Brunswick.
Ooh, traveling in New Brunswick.
So this is like one of the first lines for the Trans-Canadian Electric Railroad.
Oh, we're not done yet. Get this.
What?
There's an 8-stall 150 kilowatt in Quispamsis, New Brunswick.
That's in New Brunswick.
Right.
Okay, so then it's another one?
Yep. And number 67 in Canada is the 8-stall 150 kilowatt in Woodstock, New Brunswick.
Woo!
We're talking a whole line of them.
Ooh.
Remember when those engineers at Tesla said that they wanted to get a line of them put in? It's like something happened.
Number 8 in New Zealand is the 6 stall in Timaru in New Zealand.
And number 705 in the USA, number 1645 in the world is the 14 stall, 150 kilowatt in Blaine, Washington. All right, it's time for the Patreon giveaway. You know what this is all about. If you're a Patreon, you get some cards put in there based on how much you support us with. And you can win an EcoWear t-shirt, which is designed with solar energy, completely carbon offset, and you buy a tee, we plant a tree. So help support us in the show and spread the word with ecowear.us. There's a link right below this video. You don't even have to stop watching to shop. All right, so what do we got?
The winner is Kevin S.
Congratulations, Kevin. You won a t-shirt. Thank you so much for being our Patreon. And now you made it to the end of the show. And I hear you're going on a little vacation.
I am going on a little vacation, but I will be back in time to record in depth for next week.
And it's a little road trip, I hear.
It is a road trip. It is a Tesla road trip. I am bringing my grandmother's car down to Florida.
Nice.
So instead of it going on a truck and polluting the whole way down, I'm going to be driving the whole way down, and it won't be polluted.
Nice. Now, are you putting the dream case or anything in there?
No, we're bringing too much stuff.
Oh, okay.
I have to bring
all of her stuff down.
all of her stuff down.
Gotcha.
In addition, because it is better than flying it
Yeah.
in many respects.
Are you going to do Supercharger reviews this time? A lot of times you forget.
I just feel like they've already been done. I feel
Maybe
like
not.
everyone knows about them
Just
already.
take your phone out. Remember to keep it in landscape mode.
I know how to do.
And,
I know.
it's out of 10 points.
I know.
Talk about the amenities.
Thank you. Yes.
I'm mainly
I know.
telling our viewers just in case they don't know.
It's
I mean,
true.
because you know that you can go to our website where we've got a Supercharger review page, and we've got Supercharge all around the world. If you see that little green dot, it means that we've got a video. If it doesn't have a green dot, you can
uncharted
and
territory.
destination chargers. I
Right.
mean, there's no end. You're not going to run out of places by any means to give us Supercharger.
Right.
So-
And look, I'm telling you that Tesla adventuring is the best way to do it. I mean, I can't stop driving my car. It's so fun to just I do day trips all the time where I'm just like,
oh, big question.
yeah,
You have version 10 in this car.
it's true.
What is the number one feature you think you're going to enjoy from version 10 on the trip? Like, what have you been enjoying?
Oh, it's
lately?
going to be Netflix.
Netflix.
I did it the other
While
day.
you're driving?
No. At the Superchargers.
Oh yeah.
I did that the other day. I went on a day trip, and we had to supercharge, and we just watched Netflix. It was freaking awesome, because usually you arrive at a supercharger and you're like, let's go to the bathroom, which is a good idea anyway. The problem is we couldn't get through a whole episode of what we were watching.
Were you watching something short like Death Love Robots?
No, we were
Love, Death, Robot.
We were watching
Robots,
Mad
Love,
Men,
Death.
so it's like a
Oh,
full
yeah.
like 6.
No, you got to watch something short, I suppose.
I know we need to stop at like a level 2 charger just to enjoy something. But then, of course, our road trip would be much longer, and I wouldn't be able to come back in time for in depth.
Right.
So
So it's like Rick and Morty or Love, Death, Robots.
something quick. I mean, we're gonna need to make shorter and shorter episodes of TV shows so that you can watch it while you're charging your car. Just like condense it. Just like, I want to watch an episode of Game of Thrones, but I just want it. Just get to the part where people die. just get
Can
to
you
the-
speed up Netflix?
No.
No.
You can speed up.
YouTube.
YouTube, even in your car. If you're watching this now and you're like,
Yeah.
why hasn't this ended yet? First of all, it's because we need to thank all these people that are floating past us.
Yeah.
I have no idea if it's...
And it's
Where it
updated
is.
every week, by the way.
Yes.
So like, there's new people moving to different spots, and some people are becoming gold because they've given over $100.
And
I mean, that's
thank you
amazing.
so
Do you see how
much.
many gold names are going past?
These guys are
it's
awesome.
Unbelievable.
They're helping to support this channel. They're helping to support us, get more editors, and people to help us with the show, make the show better, do other shows, do other content. We're super excited about all of it, and you're all a part of this. Thank you so much for watching. Now you know.